I'll just open up. Within the rooms, we just acknowledged the retirements of Michael Gardner, Stephen Baker, Robert Eddy and Andrew McWalter, 4 players that have been integral members of my time at the Saints and our finals sort of quest, and they gave great effort, and I really want to acknowledge publicly their effort, and they're great character and great competitors, and we'll miss them.
So is your message to Ross that it's time for regeneration?
I think there's a natural attrition. Most clubs churn X amount per year, and certainly it sort of feels like the end of an era, to be honest. You know, to lose a home final that Eddie had, you know, against a good team, but it was a really disappointing night. But I think there were some of the old warts there that come out. If I sum up the game, I thought we wanted to play a quick game, which we have been. We've been a really high play-on team over the last 6 or 8 weeks. We didn't want to get caught up in a slow stoppage feast because of the Mumford factor. I thought we achieved that. You know, it was a really up-tempo. We dominated contested possession, but we just couldn't hit the score on the board. But a byproduct of that was our defenders, and particularly our defenders and mids, just running off willy-nilly, and we turned the ball over because of our skill level, and they were just able to hurt us on the counter, to be honest. I mean, I had our tall backs sitting on the half-forward line, and Reed's out the back, and, you know, Clint Jones is covering for him, and Benny Mack's covering for him, so the message got lost a little bit, you know. And the second quarter, it actually compounded from there, to be honest. I thought it was as disorganised and erratic style of footy that I allowed to happen for a long, long time. And the Swans are pros, and how they played was the same, and I thought they capitalised. You know, we probably lost it at match committee in a sense. I've said that. We didn't plan. We planned heavily for Goods and Kennedy and Mumford, but, you know, players like Hanbury and Shaw and those types that would normally send, like Dempsters and Polos and Clint Jones to, we sort of didn't do that, and ultimately it hurt us. So once we addressed those issues at halftime, we come out and played a better style of footy and controlled the players we needed to, and we're in the game, but it was probably too little too late. And then I thought our real issue of overall skill, we had the first 4 or 5 opportunities in the last quarter coming out of defence or through the midfield, and we just kicked it to them, basically. You know, I think it was Milne and BJ and Shawnee Dempster, and so you can't win from there. And they took their opportunities, and that was the game. That's what I thought.
Have you seen enough this year, because you've played the 8, I think it's 8 first gamers, or maybe 9 even, have you seen enough to suggest that you can regenerate and come back strong? Or do you think that it's gravity?
It's an early question. You know, clearly we're a mature list, and if you're a mature list, then you think there's a bigger gap now than there was. You know, so look, they'll probably, you know, we need to sit down. I think it's a big question in the context of the game. I think I've acknowledged those that are gone. I've summed up the performance in my eyes, and really probably I'd like to sort of pay some respects to Sydney, who come to Etihad and play us on our home turf is a daunting task probably, and I thought they carried it out. I think we contributed, but I thought their pressure was really strong, and their fierceness, and they stuck it out, and they took their opportunities, you know. So, look, to come in 3 goals, you know, at half-time in a final at Etihad, to be honest, it's not what we want. But we couldn't have played on any quicker. We couldn't have tried, but our use and that was just terrible. So, you know, to talk about regeneration and next year, I think it's unfair on everybody. So I declined that comment.
Did you not go to Shaw and some of those others you spoke about because you wanted to be making the play rather than being reactive, sort of trying to chase their backsides around? Is that what you...
Well, I thought we did make the play. I don't know what you thought. I thought, gee, it was an up-tempo, low. We didn't want a slow, heavy-based stoppage game, to be honest. But our Achilles heel early in the year was our stoppages, and in the first half... first quarter was good. Second quarter, they got well on top, and, you know, and... So I thought we really took the game on. I don't think anyone can sit there and say we didn't do that. But in the end, we couldn't execute, and it unravelled us, you know.
Is it tried to say that when Lenny went down, you never really recovered because he was built for a game like that tonight, wasn't he?
No, I think it's a bit trite. I think the players delivered a lot. We've won a lot of games. We've played against quality. And our best tonight and would have been good enough, but you can't dish up. We weren't hard enough when we needed to be. We weren't skillful enough where we needed to be. And we weren't organised, and for whatever reason, the message that normally doesn't get lost got a little bit lost. And I thought we were unrecognisable in the second quarter, to be honest. I didn't recognise what team was playing out there and how we were playing. So the price you pay for that is a finals loss on your home turf. So it's pretty simple for me. I'm not sitting here not knowing what happened. I know exactly what happened, and ultimately myself and the coaches allowed it to happen. And Sydney, they obviously did some things, but I really thought in the second it was more the way we went about it, to be honest.
Given that, Ross, did you still feel three-quarter time you had the momentum with you, that it was there for the taking?
Yeah, and as I said, I thought we had it at the start of the last, but if you want to kick it back to them every time you get the ball the first 4 times, go and replay the tape. It's pretty evident, isn't it? That's what I see.
So that was the moment. Was that 5 minutes? First one was last.
Undoubtedly, but there's plenty of time from there. But you can't. It's momentum. The shift when you get opportunities, you can't turn the ball over, and So players have been really good for us, and some of our most skillful. But I can visualise them still, and it's just disappointing.
Do you think? I know, like you asked about the future, and you thought it was a bit premature, but you spoke about kicking. Do you think that you'll put a priority
if we don't already?
What do you
think we've been doing? On what?
Well,
on training
on that basic skill that you choice between a couple of draftees. One's an elite kick, one's got other attributes. You go with the kick because you've got this problem that you spoke about.
I don't know. What do your people tell you?
I don't have any people. No.
Oh, don't you? That's
no, well, I'm just asking a question.
Sure?
You spoke about kicking, about that how it dogged you. You turned it
I
on.
think it's unfair to delve into how we're going to recruit. Do you know what I mean? But I'm talking about Brendan Goddard had a kick, Stephen Miller. I'd say they're pretty good kicks. But I think everyone's got the philosophy with the less time and space, you've got to be able to make decisions and execute, and even watching Collingwood, West Coast bits of it, I thought West Coast endeavour, far be it from me but their endeavour and pressure, and that's fantastic, but, Collingwood have just got some incredibly skillful players like Didak on a right foot or, a side bottom on his left, hits a little lead up to Cloak. They're the things, they're the subtleties when if you've got equal effort and you've got a skill differential, well, the skill differential is going to take over, and that's what happens,
Ross, do you think you'll sit back when the dust settles and think it was a fair effort to get to a home final given how your first 7 weeks were?
I'm not very easily pleased. I'm really hard to work with. I'm really demanding. I'm unrelenting. You show me a coach that is unrelenting, I'll show you a play group that generally reflects that. So I'm far from satisfied. The previous effort's irrelevant. We had every opportunity. I'm hurting because we didn't deliver. I don't like losing. I don't like losing finals. I don't like losing at home. There's no satisfaction with me.
Is that what you said to players on the ground afterwards?
Some things are meant to be private. So I don't really want to share what I said with my player group.
Ross, was Nick Rewell the aggravate that clash with Teddy Richards in the first quarter?
Look, it didn't look great, did it? But in all honesty, there was no feedback. It's a pretty hardcore environment. If the doctor doesn't pick up the phone, I don't pick up the phone and ask for something to be wrong. Enough trouble finds you without going searching for it, with injury. So I didn't get anything up, so therefore I can't tell you anything.
Who's going to win the premiership?
Well, no, I'll just pick it up. There it is. There's my crystal ball. I've got no idea. I know it's facetious, but look, Collingwood are a great team. I think they get great confidence. West Coast get a home final. I think the Swans are as dangerous as anyone, and then you're going to have a cracker tomorrow. Melbourne's alive with finals footy, and unfortunately, when you've been to the last day 3 times in a row, and my time at the Swans, I think it's 5 out of the last 6 years grand final appearances. There's not a lot I like about bowing out of it and being in Melbourne, so there's no joy sitting here. And I wish everyone all the best, and I think it's fantastic Franklin didn't get hurt severely because we've had Gwilt and we've had Hayes, and you want to see he lights up the MCG like no one I've ever seen, so hopefully he can get back out there.